Positive energy, peace and blessings to everyone. Okay, quick story time. Why I started streaming. So, Joe Rogan had talked a lot about sensory deprivation tanks in his podcast, and I had heard episodes where he talked about it, and also a good friend of mine, Adrian, had heard these episodes also, and he had done it a few times. It's like $50 to $75, and you lay in this blacked out tank. Basically, the one we went to is a room, and it's basically like a 8 by 8 foot room, maybe 10 by 10, with like an 8 by 8 pool in it. Filled with Epsom salt. You don't see the salt that's dissolved in the water, so you float in the water. And the water's set to room temperature, not room temperature, skin temperature, so you don't feel the water, and it feels like you're floating. And the air is set to the same temperature, so it feels like you're floating, and you have earplugs in, you don't hear anything, you don't see anything, and it's a sensory deprivation tank. Okay. So my friend had done it a few times, and he's said it was cool. It's like 2019. I got some extra money. I go and I do it with him. And on the way, I'm just thinking, all right, I'm going to meditate in there and focus on my breathing, relax. And we smoked a little bit of weed on the drive. But I'm used to a lot of bit of weed and like concentrates and edibles. So I'm basically sober. I've been smoking weed at this point for like 20 plus years. So anyway, I was sober. And so we get there. Hot hippie chick checks us in. I get in the room, I get naked, you shower off, then you dry off, and then you get in this tub, and I'm trying to focus on my breathing, but I keep thinking of this hot hippie chick who checked me in, and it keeps throwing me off. But I keep going, focusing on my breathing, basically just counting 1, 2, 3, and thinking breathe, like trying not to think anything really, but just like focusing on the breath. Anyway, so I do that, and I'm starting to see like gray colors in the blackness, and I'm like, okay, this is cool. I'm looking at they're like purple colors, purple clouds, like cloud-ish, not like, like super definite clouds, but like purple is starting to appear in this blackness. I'm like, all right, this is cool. Focusing on my breathing, focusing on the breathing, and I see this pinprick of green light, and I stare at the green light. I'm like, oh, this is cool. And look at the green light, and all of a sudden, this fucking green light expands to this huge fucking, like 3 foot, 4 foot fucking eyeball that looks like it's like 10 feet away from me. And it's fucking crystal clear. Like, does not look like an illusion, does not look like any hallucination I've ever had. And I've done a lot of psychedelics and had a lot of hallucinations. And this was like fucking crystal clear fucking eyeball appears, and it has like green, it has green pupils, and it has like yellow where the white is, and it has a fucking black vertical slit as a pupil, and it scares the fuck out of me. I like fucking jump in this fucking tub, and it disappeared, and I like called out like a second later, like half a second, like I thought like I contacted something, because I'm holding this, you can hear it kind of jingling. This is my dead brother's ashes right here. He was in a car accident when he was 19, was paralyzed, and then died 6 years later. And I was 23, 22. That's him. when he was after the accident. And that's also the sticker of my other dead friend who's about to come into the story. So I call out to my dead brother. This fucking eyeball disappears, and I call out to my dead brother, who I've talked to a bunch, as you would if your brother dies at a younger age, you know. So I call out to my dead brother, Pony, and this fucking gray, ghastly, like ghostly, like human shape appears, but it's all like gray. It's all like the gray clouds, but it's definitely like humanoid shape, and it's like falling through space, like moving its arms. It's like falling away, it looks like, and it's like moving its arms. It's only the top half, and that's all I see. And I'm like, I've freaked out, and I call out to my dead friend, who that sticker I just showed, who had just killed himself like the week prior. I call out to Sasquatch, and the gray humanoid form turns into this floating, like, gray head with like no like eyes or anything, just like gray, just a gray head shape. And the dude was a huge dude. He had a big head. And then I called out to my dead grandma, and who I have a bunch of her stuff here, and I've often thought there's spirits in my house, and I've thought it might be her. I call out to my dead grandma, and I see the head changes into a gray heart, and it's just a floating gray heart. And I have, like, at that point, I got some tears in my eyes. I started, like, tearing up a little bit, and it was just baffled at what was happening, and it all floated away. It just disappeared, and I stepped out of the tank into the next room, thought about what the fuck had just happened, regathered myself as best as I could, and then got back in the tank and tried to breathe and call it back, and it never came back. And so that's the floating eye story. I've been thinking about that shit every day since. So after that, after that, I'm talking to this eye, like, in my mind a lot, you know, like trying to contact it, trying to breathe, and trying to contact it again, something, again, and nothing's happening, months and months, and, so I'm doing a lot of that for a few months there, and I played this game on my phone, Clash Royale, and I never accept friend requests. And me and this dude were playing duos together, and we were kicking ass for like a half an hour straight, didn't get one loss, and then, which I do a lot, because I'm pretty good at the game, and then you find another good player, and you can just go on a good streak. And it happens a lot, and they send friend requests, and I always hit reject right away. Reject it. And this, for some reason this time, I hit reject like I always do, and it didn't work. And I definitely pressed it, I hit reject, and then I stared at it, it didn't work. And I'm like, I got this like crazy feeling like I was supposed to add this person for some reason. Like all of a sudden I got this like feeling like I'm supposed to add him. And as I got that feeling, I got like goosebumps and fucking chills down my spine. And I was like, it felt like it was like fucking weird as shit, dude. And I was like, and then I just stared at it for a moment. Like, I didn't add him. I just stared at it like, what the fuck? Why am I supposed to add this person? What the fuck? And he didn't go away. And in this game, like, you just back out and then it's gone. And, like, he didn't back out. He just sat there waiting. And which is unusual as is. And so I sat there for, like, minutes. And then I hit okay. And I accepted his request. And so he like joins my clan later, and we end up like exchanging PlayStation information. And we're playing a game one time. We meet up in a party. We're playing a game, Warzone, and we're talking before the game just about our lives. And he's telling me like he lives in Germany, and he like what he does for work, and like he smokes, and he seems like a cool dude, and we had similar interests in music and stuff. And then it was right before like the New Year's or right after New Year's, I forget it. It was right around New Year's time, and he brings up like New Year's resolutions. And then like almost verbatim of like the exact list in my head, he's like he starts saying his list, and it's like the exact list of what I need to do in my life, I'm thinking, right? And then he's like, and I'm like, oh yeah, man, that sounds good. That's stuff like I need to do. And he's like, no, you should do it. No, he's like, yeah, you should do it. And then he says like, have you ever thought about streaming? And I was like, yeah, I've thought about streaming before. And he's like, no, you should stream. And I was like, what? And he's like, the way he said it was like, no, you should, no, yeah, you should stream. And we talked about our New Year's resolutions first. Anyway, and I got the goosebumps again. I got the fucking chills. And also, he fucking brings up, we're talking about music, and he brings up a dead rapper. No, he brings up rap music, and if he's like, lots of rappers get killed by guns in the U.S., right? And I'm like, yeah, and it sucks or whatever. And he's like, you know a rapper who's been killed by gun violence? And I'm like, no, I don't know any rapper who's been killed by gun violence. And then I fucking get the chills and shit again, and I fucking definitely know someone who made beats, rap beats, and rapped, and was killed by a gun over an ounce of weed. And I got the fucking chills again. And like the way he said it was like, no, you know someone who's been killed by gun violence. You know a rapper who's been killed by gun violence. It was fucking crazy. I don't know. And the way he said like, no, you should stream. that was basically the link. That's basically it. The way just the chills and just like it happened, and I took that as a sign. So that's why I started streaming. It took me a little while. I thought about it for a while. The stuff's expensive. And then I happened to fall into some extra money, and I fucking got the stuff, and I started streaming. So that's why I'm here. Take it easy. Positive energy. Focus on your breathing. Go to a sensory deprivation tank. See if that eye appears to you, please. See if it's not just me. Someone do it.